Hey, very nice to see you. On today's video, I will teach you some blistering pentatonic blues licks by the one and only legend that is Eric Clapton. We will take a closer look at the songs Have You Ever Loved a Woman and I'm Tore Down, both originally from a Texas blues legend that is Freddie King. We will take a look at the solos he performed on the live DVD, live at the Fillmore. This was actually released by his team last year and very good quality, and therefore is very good teaching material. I would say let's dive right in. Now before we start looking at the licks, all you have to know are the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic, and then you're actually good to go. Let's go. Now first of all, we are on the key of C, and he's mixing the major and minor pentatonic for all of his licks. He starts out on the first position at the 8th fret B string, then the 10th fret of B string, and then he's playing the root note, the C, at the 8th fret E string. Then he's having a little pause, and then he's sliding, it's a grace note here from a minor 7th interval on the 11th fret B string to our C at the 13th fret, before applying some heavy vibrato for 4 times on the root note. And then bending up the minor fret of the E string 11th fret just slightly. Now this lick is pretty complicated and fast. He starts out the same way than the last lick before. He plays the root note twice, and for the second time he applies some vibrato. Then the minor 7th interval, 11th fret B string, and the 8th fret of B string. And then a quick bend up to the blue note, comes back down, and pulls off to the minor third. And then plays the root note of the D string, 10th fret. Then the minor third again. And then a little T-Bone Walker style lick. That's a bend up with his middle finger to the 5th interval, to a 12th fret of the 10th fret G string. Then 8th fret and 8th fret B and E string. And then 11th fret, the minor 7th of a B string. Then the 8th fret of a B string. Then the major second interval, here the 10th fret E string. Root note at the 8th fret E string. And then back. Now the very fast part, he's using his middle finger to bend up very fast to the 5th interval. And then he's playing the 5th at the B string. Then the minor 7th interval. So he's repeating this 3 times. Then after the repeating phrase, he's bending up again in the G string to a blue note, pulling off again to a minor third, playing the root note again, here at the D string, bending up the minor third just slightly, then playing again the root note of the D string, and then this is a signature thing of his, he's sliding from the 5th to the 4th interval, you have the A string, and then playing the minor third here at the A string. at the 6th fret and bending that slightly. Now before going to the 5th chord, he's playing a very cool lick of the 1 chord, which is also mixing minor and major. Now he's hammering onto the major 3rd, then 8th fret of the B and E string, and then he's playing the minor 7th interval, pulling off to a 5th, and then going back to the minor 7th interval and applying some strong vibrato there. Then for 5th chord, this is very cool. He's playing some Chuck Berry style double stops. It's just the 8th fret at the E and B string. It's just a little down strum and an up strum for the 2nd time. Then your classic Chuck Berry style blues lick. Then again, just a little bend up to a blue note and combine with a pull off. Then a little bend up here at the minor 3rd. And then he's jumping not to the root note but the 5th interval, which is the root note of the 5th chord, which is perfect. And he's applying some vibrato there. Now for a 4 chord, he plays the 8th fret of the B string. He's properly hammering on, then to a major 6th interval, then the C at the 8th fret E string, and back to the major 6th. And then with his ring finger, he's bending the minor 3rd twice in a row, slightly. Then 8th fret of the E string, B string. Then again this little bend up, it's a signature move really. He's doing it with his middle finger, which is very unusual, but it's Clapton. Then this little bend up again. And some vibrato at the root note. And then for going into the next 12 bars, which I want to show you very quickly because it's very, very cool. He's again playing a T-Bone Walker style lick. Again with a hammer on onto the major 3rd. And he's picking it all. He's not pulling off somewhere. And then he straight goes to sliding double stops, also very Chuck Berry, very T-Bone Walker, but also actually Chuck Berry. Adjust your part of a C7 triad. You're sliding with your middle finger into the 5th, and then playing the minor 7th at the 11th fret B string. And then he's actually doing that for quite some time. Then he's sliding back to the fourth interval, playing the minor third, back to the fourth interval, which is the 10th fret G string. And then he's applying some vibrato to the minor third. Now this lick is very cool because it incorporates some very unusual bending. He's bending the minor third here and the 16th fret B string 2 whole steps, which is like bending to the 20th fret. Very Albert King style. Then he plays the C note at the 13th fret B string, the minor third again, and does a quick hammer on and pull off onto the minor third. With his middle finger he plays here the 15th fret G string then, and back to the C note. He applies some great vibrato there for two notes. And then this is very B.B. King, plays the 15th fret of E string, and then the root again. And then in the end he's bending the minor third slightly. Now for this one we are again hammering onto a major third, and this is actually one of his favorite licks to get into the second minor position. He then is climbing up a scale and is bending up the 13th fret here at the E string of whole step. And he's picking this twice. Plays a minor third at the 11th fret E string. And then the root note at the 13th fret with some applied vibrato. He repeats the minor third and the heavy vibrato on the root note. And in the end he's bending up a minor third slightly. Now this lick is very cool. He's bending up the 5th interval to the minor 7th interval, so a 1.5 bend up. And he's doing this 4 times in a row. Before coming back down. And then he's bending up the major 2nd interval at the 7th fret G string. A major phrase. Playing the root note here twice. And then this is a very B.B. King style. You would usually play this here, but you can do it here as well at the lower position. And then he applies some vibrato to the root note of a G string. Very cool. Now this lick is very fast. It also involves some rolls with your fingers, which he's doing all the time. Now he starts out in the first position at the 11th fret B string, then goes to the 8th fret B string, then to the 10th fret, and then here your first roll, you roll your index finger from the 10th fret B string to the 10th fret G string, which is actually a very nice move to play fast, because it's usually done very fast and not so difficult. Then back to the 5th here at the 8th fret. Then he pulls off from the 10th fret of the G string to the 8th fret. Plays the minor 3rd. Then the root note here at the 10th fret D string. And then your next roll. But this one backwards. It's a 10th fret G string back to the root note at the D string. Then you play with your index finger the minor 3rd. Pull off from the root note to the minor 7th of the D string. And play the 5th of the A string. Then you slide with your index finger from the 8th fret of the A string to the 6th fret A string. And play the root note of the E string, which is your 8th fret. And then another roll. You roll your ring finger from the 8th fret of the E string to the 8th fret of the A string, back to the E string. Then we are almost done. A hammer on onto the major 3rd. And then the last note is the root note at the 8th fret E string. No, it's actually the hammer on. And then you actually finish with the lick. Now here's the lick slow. And here fast. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you learned something, then please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Also consider supporting me on Patreon, that would really be appreciated. I always like to see my community grow and get in touch with me and yeah, get to know each other. I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.